Hello, and thanks for joining us on Movie Night Memories. You must remember this. A podcast that focuses on movies and our favorite memories of them. Each week we discuss the films that are celebrating an anniversary from when they came out in theaters. My name is Sword Alexander, and I'm joined, as always, by the inspiration of this podcast, my mom, Tracey.
Good evening.
This week we're talking about movies released between August 10th and August 16th. We have American Graffiti at 52 years, The Rocky Horror Picture Show at 50 years, Cujo at 42 years, Clean and Sober at 37, Tucker, The Man in His Dream at 37, Uncle Buck at 36, Detroit Rock City at 26, Jobs at 12, and The Man From U.N.C.L.E. for a 10-year anniversary. This week we decided to see American Graffiti, Clean and Sober, Tucker, The Man in His Dream, Detroit Rock City, and Jobs to get a fresh look and discuss them in more detail. But first, let's talk about the other films we didn't have a chance to see. First up is The Rocky Horror Picture Show, released August 14th, 1975, celebrating a 50th anniversary. Newlyweds Brad and Janet get a flat tire on their way to their honeymoon. They're shocked to find the castle full of strange people engaged in an even stranger event. I mean, who doesn't know the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't know it. Film.
They're the real freaks around here. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is one of your favorite movies of all time. How many times have you watched it? Probably 50, at least.
I don't even remember how many times I've seen it. I started watching it in 1980 with my theater group. They couldn't wait to take me because I was the Virgin. The Virgin. They kept calling me the Virgin.
And boy, did you get deflowered when you first saw it.
Yes, it was quite an experience. We went to Gainesville to watch it, and people dressed up, and they were throwing toast. Because they say toast.
I will never forget the first time I saw Tim Curry's Frankenfurter come out and that little smile on his face. And I love the line. One of my favorite lines in the whole movie is when he interrupts Brad in the middle of Sweet Transvestite, where he says, "Well, you got caught with a flat." Well, he just looks right at the camera. How about that?
How about that?
That was cinematic perfection to me. And this was at a time where I really didn't study films the way that I do now. And that was a great way for me to be able to be introduced to that element of how an actor can really go behind the camera and look into the audience directly. And I thought it was absolutely incredible. It really inspired me. Mm-hmm. So, what other parts of the film besides, the introduction really stuck out to you more than anything else that you really enjoyed?
It was shocking when I first saw it how there was total audience participation. It makes you want to be involved in the movie.
Did you really start seeing that even from 1980 onwards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when it was audience participation. Mm-hmm. It was a midnight showing, and it was total craziness. Nobody was sitting down. It was audience participation. It was craziness. Everyone took over this film.
It is so great to see something that's so bizarre and so different really stand out as a timeless classic. My only thing I could say I would say is more negative about the film is the ending. I thought the ending sucked, but I think that's kind of the point where it's like you cannot end it well. I mean, if you could try, but I just thought the ending was very disappointing. But overall, I mean, that's not what you see the movie for. You see it for everything else.
The most shocking situation that I've seen about this film is when we went to a funeral and people were doing the time warp.
I remember that funeral. Oh my God. And that was, I mean...
It was at the actual... It was not even the funeral. It was the night before the funeral at the visitation. Mm-hmm. And they were doing the time warp above the person's...
Just after an open casket.
It was at the open casket. And everyone was doing the time warp around the open casket. It was really shocking.
I'm getting all these flooded of memories of that event. Oh my God.
And I had no idea that person that was in the open casket was a big Rocky Horror Picture Show fan.
Zero clue.
But her age would make sense.
It makes total sense.
Makes total sense.
So it was very, I kind of liked it. Like I'm kind of debating whether or not I should.
It was appropriate because that's what
But
it was a shock. It was a shock.
Yeah.
And her ex-husband was there doing the time warp.
Can you imagine like these 90-year-olds looking at all this going on, thinking, "What the hell's going on here?"
Well, maybe they knew too. But then I started thinking, was she there in Gainesville? Because she's from Gainesville. Was she there in Gainesville the night in 1980 when I was there?
Maybe
doing the time warp.
In the middle
throwing
of the theater.
toast and drinking champagne too, and I wasn't drinking, but maybe I wasn't old enough to drink. But there was all kinds of crazy stuff going on, and dressed crazily. Was she even? Because we used to go almost every week to see Murky Horror at the midnight show. Was she there too?
Maybe she
was. And I didn't know.
Maybe it was a misconnection this whole time.
Yes.
So we love talking about this movie. We could talk about this movie as a whole special, but we really wanted to point it out, and we're probably going to see it this year as well. I mean,
we always usually watch it around Halloween.
I'll likely get it if they come out with the 50th. Like they're supposed to come out with the 50th anniversary. I know, but they have a DVD. But there's supposed to be a 50th anniversary special edition coming out that they haven't really talked about yet, except a little bit. So I look forward to getting that when it comes out. This year.
It's a magnificent film.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway, so
next up is Uncle Buck, released August 16th, 1989, celebrating a 36th anniversary. When the chips are down, you can always rely on your favorite uncle. That's what drives the plot of this John Candy classic about an estranged uncle who's asked to babysit while the parents deal with the medical emergency. What follows is a heartfelt look at family, growing up, and efficient housework.
Inefficient housework. What are you talking about?
I said efficient. I know.
I said inefficient.
It's not inefficient. It's very efficient. Throwing clothes into the microwave is very efficient.
Oh, come on. It's a sweet story. It's a great. I love this film.
I love it when John Candy gets angry and starts telling people off. It's always the best part of his movies. or when he tells them very condescendingly about themselves.
I loved it about the teenage girl, his niece. And how he takes care of the weirdo boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's great. Oh, my God. He's got that little smile on his face when he closes the trunk. It's perfect.
I love the whole movie. The only thing I don't like about the movie is his girlfriend.
Yeah. It's still different. Still
I don't like... I never liked that actress. But anyway. Yeah. But Macaulay Culkin's in it.
Macaulay Culkin, yeah.
Macaulay Culkin's in it. It's before Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
And he's great in it. Is this a John...
Yeah, John Hughes movie.
Yeah, is it John...
Howard... It's not Howard Hughes. It is John Hughes.
Yeah, it's a John Hughes movie, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little... Yes, it is a John Hughes movie.
Yeah,
it's one of... It's
a great one. It's a great John Hughes movie. And I enjoyed this movie.
I enjoy it quite a bit, too. It's very funny. I would love to see it again. We just didn't have a chance to see it.
No, we saw it recently.
Yeah, we did see it on some kind of...
a year ago.
It was like an AMC marathon. They were playing it or something.
We saw it.
It was a John Candy marathon.
A year ago, but it was great.
But it was... Yeah, it's always good to watch.
See this film. If you want a great John Candy film with Macaulay Culkin and being something funny to watch with your family, it's great. And it's got some also crazy kind of adult moments too.
It's a family classic from the 80s. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, but it's got some adult things in it too.
Sure. But good 80s films do.
Yeah.
So, last but not least is The Man From U.N.C.L.E, released August 14th, 2015, celebrating a 10th anniversary. A top CIA agent reluctantly teams up with a ruthless KGB agent to investigate and destroy a growing Nazi regime that plans to unleash a nuclear weapon onto the world. I really wanted to include this as a sleeper hit, a movie that people don't talk about. In it. Well, it stars Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer, and this is kind of a remake of the TV show. I never really watched the TV show. Did you watch the show back then?
Yes.
Is it anything like the movie?
No. I mean, it's about two guys that get along and that are agents.
But it's kind of it's same idea, different kind of world, essentially.
Yeah, but it's back in the 60s, like 60s.
You kind of introduced me to this movie thinking, I remember the show. You wanted to show me the movie because you thought, that sounds pretty cool.
I like both those guys.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to go see these hot guys.
And, despite... We're not talking about the personal lives of these actors, but we're going to talk about their acting skill, too.
Yeah, but I wanted to see those actors, and I also thought they were good-looking guys. And I thought they would be a great chemistry, which we were shocked how good this movie was.
Yes. I love this movie. I really do. This is this is one of my favorite spy movies because it's very clever, it's very action-oriented, but with the right amount of stealth, too. You really get the best of both worlds of stealth, action, with some mixture of comedy and great chemistry. They work so well together. They chew the scenery perfectly. They really play off each other well. The stakes are high.
The scenery's great.
If you need an extra James Bond film, this is the James Bond film for you.
I enjoyed it tremendously.
I do, and I love seeing it. I've probably seen it like 3 or 4 times, and if you ask me to watch it right now, I'd say, yeah, let's do it.
You like the ladies in it too.
I mean, I do. I like the women. But man, I really enjoyed it. It's a great, well done film. It's never talked about, and I'm surprised it isn't because it's really well done.
It takes you back in time.
It does. It really takes you back to that era, and it really fits well with the Cold War aesthetic and everything.
It sure does.
Well, we're going to move on now. Move on to films that we actually saw this week. And once again, spoiler warning for those. We're going to be talking about some spoilers for the film. So if you haven't had a chance to see them, please go take a look at them. But we'll get into some mild spoiler territory for each of these two. First up is American Graffiti. It was released on August 11th, 1974, directed by George Lucas, and it was written by Lucas, Gloria Katz, and William Huyck, or Huyck. It's Huyck. I definitely butchered it, and I do apologize. So it's summer of 1962. A group of teenagers celebrate the last free night of their lives by looking for love, joining a street gang, pranking the police, more in this George Lucas classic. This film we put out before Star Wars. This was something he was a little passionate about before moving on to Star Wars Episode 4. Stars Richard Dreyfuss, Ron Howard, Harrison Ford, which he makes a very interesting appearance here. Suzanne Summers, and
she was barely in it.
She was.
You didn't even.
It's barely a cameo.
At the time, you didn't even recognize. People had to say, "Did you know Suzanne Summers was in American Graffiti?" And this was years later, after she was on Three's Company. Mm-hmm. So most people didn't even know she was in the film. So I remember seeing this when I was a little girl. I saw it when it came out, and I saw it in the theater when I was a little girl. I was about 11 years old.
Do you remember a part from the movie that really stuck out to you that you saw in theaters that were like, I remember when I saw this?
I remember Richard Dreyfuss looking for that girl in the car, in the Thunderbird.
Well, Suzanne Summers, what do you expect?
Yeah, I remember he was looking for that blonde girl in the car in that Thunderbird. I remember saying, I think it's a Thunderbird. So I remember the emblem, and I remember thinking it was a Thunderbird, and I wasn't for sure. And I remember there was some kind of good-looking cowboy, okay, and that was Harrison Ford, okay, and I remember there was a lot of cars on the road, and I remember that in Lake City, when I was a little girl in Lake City, they used to drive around on the highway, and cars used to compare who had the best car, and this was in the 70s, so it wasn't that far off. This was in the 70s, and guys would drive around and have their girl, or look for girls, and girls would be in cars, and they'd look at each other's cars. And that's what this was about. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that big a difference.
It's the different hijinks and scenarios they get into before they have to go off and do something with their lives and everything.
But they'd also go to the drive-through. They'd go through the drive-in.
Yeah, like the drive-in thing.
And you'd compare cars at the drive-in. I remember that. And they'd like, look at so-and-so's car, and nobody would want to go in the drive-in with your parents in the station wagon. Mm-hmm. That was like dorky,
So this movie really took you back in time.
Oh yes, I remember it so well, and I remember that when Happy Days came out, everybody was talking that this was an influence for Happy Days when the show Happy Days came out.
Because now a couple of years after Happy Days ended up coming out, and it did really well.
Yes, and it was an influence. It influenced the show Happy Days.
It really did feel like it takes place in '62, but it's so close to the '50s era, pretty much.
It looked just like the '50s. It didn't really look like '62.
It probably was just coming off of the '60s. Like, nobody could tell me that 2012 doesn't look like 2008, 2009. Like, it does. I mean, it's a new decade, but it still feels like the old decade, and that makes sense to me. It does.
What really Mackenzie Phillips? When I saw the film, I didn't know who Mackenzie Phillips was, and she was that young girl that was in the car with the other guy. I never knew who that actor was, but I've seen him before.
The nerdy one.
No, he wasn't nerdy. He was the guy with with the powerful car, and they were competing.
Oh, him, yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, I know that girl, and I had the same feelings. Oh, she's not that pretty, but she's outgoing for her age. I remember thinking, she just got some nerve jumping in that car with that older guy.
So I love this storyline. That's actually my favorite storyline in the movie. Is about this one of these guys who doesn't want to go to college or go to war join the military. He wants to stay in his town. He doesn't want anything to change, and he tries to pick up these chicks in this car. And one of the girls agrees to go in the car, and the girl goes into his car. It's like a 12-year-old girl. And
she's 13, I think.
Yeah, and he's 17. All these other girls that are in that car were like 17, like his age.
Yeah, and he thought he was going to get some hot girl, and it was a little nothing girl.
And he's like, get out of here. I can't have you. Go on. I'm going to get in trouble.
She would leave him alone. She would leave him alone.
No, not because she was into him, but because she didn't want to be with the girls anymore, and she thought, hey, it'd be kind of fun to tell a good story about this. And he was like, get out of here. I don't need you.
She really liked him. She liked his car.
Yeah.
She liked him. She wanted to have a story to tell.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really thought it was funny. It was
realistic. It was a realistic story.
I like that they definitely had a brother-sister kind of approach, and it really worked. And it was very cute, and it was very funny.
Yeah, it was sweet. It was something that would really happen.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get rid of her. He could not get rid of her. And then he ended up liking her.
But yeah, and also when she would like at one point either once or twice she would get out of the car and he'd run to go get her because he also knew like this is dangerous out here.
Yes.
I gotta look after her.
Yeah.
I can't just leave
her.
her.
And now he felt responsible.
Exactly.
And they had little vignettes. Okay, they had little vignettes throughout this movie about different scenarios. So that was really intriguing.
So this movie was really successful. It had a budget of approximately $777,000. It did $140 million at the box office.
Wow, that's incredible.
You were there. Why was this movie so successful? Don't say the 50s approach. There's got to be something else that brought people back. Was it only that because you got a bunch of people from the 50s wanted to come back and relive those days?
I don't know.
I
think it. You know what I think it is? I think it was the title.
American Graffiti.
I think it was the title, and I think it was the music. It had Wolfman Jack. It was the nostalgia.
It did have some good music in it.
It had the nostalgia of it. It had all those pretty cars. Cars were unique, and the cars when it came out, the 70s, they were starting to start. And these cars were the muscle cars, okay, and cars were starting to be more conservative.
Boxy but safe.
But they're starting to be not boxy but safe. They're starting to be conservative. They're talking about making cars that had lower gas mileage and stuff like that. These cars were muscle cars. These cars, didn't matter if it's 10 miles an hour. So this really made you feel like vroom, 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 has some really muscle to them.
So after all that said, do you think it really succeeds? Do you think it deserved the success that it received?
I think it was unique. It was a unique movie. And I think that Richard Dreyfuss really shined in it.
Mm-hmm. What would you give it out of 5 stars?
I'd give it because of the vignettes and how they approached them and how they had different scenarios, I'd give it a 4. Because it was unique in the way they did it. I'm not, because when it was made and everything, I would give it a 4 because it was a unique. And I remember when I was young, I wasn't bored. I wanted to see what was going to happen. And I thought it was cute how the goat thing when the goat people and stuff like that when she was scaring the nerdy guy.
Yeah.
Remember he was trying to get beer for them or hard liquor
Oh,
or something?
yeah.
And then their car got stolen and they were stranded and she told the story about the goat killer and stuff.
Oh my god.
There was all kinds of silly stuff like that throughout the film that, was happening. Something was always happening. I was never bored. And I was like 11 years old when I saw it and I was never bored. I was like, oh, this is an old person's movie. I was never bored. There was always something happening. Something different.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was, I want to be more critical of it, but at the same time, I can't help also admitting that I did enjoy this. There were some times where I did get a little bored, where I felt like, come on, get on with it. Like, come on, what's going to happen? But then around the corner, something would shock me.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Oh my God. And it would freak me out.
So something else would change.
Yeah.
So there's always a change going on.
And I felt so bad for that guy. His car got stolen. I was like, you idiot. You horny idiot. You got this. You did this to yourself. But I feel so bad. But no, I thought it was very good. I did enjoy it. This was definitely a good showcase for Lucas to show off what he could do and how he could subvert expectations. And he did something where I could see where he gets you get that George Lucas magic from. I really see it here, and it's really nice. I would also give it 4 stars. I plan on seeing it that much often, but I really do think it's a cut above from films that came out in the 70s. Like
what really surprised me is you got into that relationship between Ron Howard and Cindy Williams. They were dating.
I liked it.
He was saying, I gotta go and we should see other people. And you're like, what a jerk. Or you were saying things like, who needs you?
I was saying a lot more adult things about this guy. I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, and then he gets mad when she leaves off her, and goes to try to get with another guy. It's like, it's very typical.
And they had been going together since, 9th grade or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden he's gone off to college and he's saying, I think we should see other people. And you got pissed about it.
I did. Well, I knew they were going to get back together. I knew it. So, all right, let's move on. To Clean and Sober, released August 10th, 1988. It was directed by Glenn Gordon Caron and written by Todd Carroll. After the death of a companion and the encroaching debt from a bad investment starts to haunt him, a commercial real estate agent goes to rehab to hide from the authorities, incidentally causing him to reevaluate his relationship with drugs and alcohol. This movie was directed by Michael Keaton. It was the actors in the movie were Michael Keaton, Kathy Baker, Morgan Freeman, of all people, and Emmett Walsh, and there's some other actors in this film as well, but these are the real standouts from the film itself. So this was something that, I've never heard of before. You told me, hey, it's Michael Keaton's in this, we gotta go see it. I'm like, okay, sure, let's check it out. This was at a time where he wanted to steer away from comedies, and he really wanted to embrace more of a serious side in him, and I'm glad he was able to do this because it really did show a good serious side to him with this film. This was a very small film. It had a $12 million budget. It did $8.6 million in the box office. This is your first time seeing this movie?
Yes.
So now we got both the same experience out of this. So my first question is, does it really capture the 80s feel and vibe?
I think that in some respects, yes. In some respects, no. I was shocked by the realisticness of the drug usage that they that they did and showed in this film.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact after today that they showed this film in recovery places to teach people.
Think so?
No, I know.
Oh, you do?
Yes. I spoke to someone today.
Really?
Yes.
So you talked about this movie?
Yes.
Just by chance at work?
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Yes, I did. And I want to talk to you about it later. But they actually show this film.
I think it does a good job showing that rehabilitation process and how difficult it can be.
Yeah, and they were very familiar with this film. And they do show this film.
So, with that in mind then, what did you really... Like, do you remember actually when it came out?
Yes. Yes.
So how come you didn't see it?
I don't know why. Because I was a big fan of Michael Keaton.
And that's why I asked, because
I'm a big fan of Michael Keaton. But it just, I guess it wasn't a convenient time for me to go see it. You know, it wasn't because I didn't want to go see it. It just wasn't a convenient time for me to go see it. I just missed it for some reason. And I don't think it was out very long. Like, it must have come out quickly and then gone.
Maybe.
Because I didn't get a chance to go see it.
So what did you think of the movie itself?
It didn't explain things very well. I think it could have explained... Like, it said one thing, then it said another, then it said another, then it said another. I still am not clear why he went into rehab.
Well, what happened was, and this isn't a spoiler, the first thing that you see is he wakes up next to a dead girl.
Okay, I know that.
So then
I thought he was going into rehab to get away because he was going to be blamed for the...
So what happened was...
Because she ends up dying.
Yeah, she ends up dying. She's in a coma when he wakes up.
Yes.
So they take her into the hospital,
right.
And the detective says very clearly, if she dies,
you're in trouble.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
They say that very clearly. If she's a goner, we'll be back.
Yeah, and then he explains that she provided the drugs.
Right. He does say that she brought it, but that doesn't help. And that doesn't really matter.
So I was unclear. Was he a drug addict or wasn't he?
Oh, he was definitely a drug addict.
But then he says later, he wasn't a drug addict. He went into hiding and pretended to be a drug addict.
But he really had a drug problem. He definitely, because he was also asking other friends about, hey, can you get me some of this? Can you get me some of that? He was a drug addict. So I understood it very clearly. So, I mean, it's a difference of, maybe we just have different viewpoints of things where you didn't see something that I'd seen and vice versa. That can. But
he kept going back and forth saying, "I went in there to hide."
Of course, because he's lying. He doesn't want to admit that he's got a problem. He doesn't think he has a problem, but of course he's got a problem.
Okay.
Addicts don't think they have a problem. That's why they're addicts, because they keep doing it. So that's the idea. Like, he doesn't think he has a problem, but he has all these connections that can get him, cocaine and get him this and get him that. I mean, he's an addict.
Okay.
So that's why he keeps telling people, "I'm only here to hide from the cops." His personality is, "I'm trying to hide from the cops," but he really needs this. He's not there to get out of drugs. He's there to get away from the cops, but he needs to get out from drugs.
Okay.
So anyway. That's his thing.
All right.
So I thought this was I thought it was well done. Michael Keaton really holds the movie together.
Yeah, he does.
And I say that because other good actors could do a good job doing this movie. It's just Keaton does a great job playing.
He's a natural. He's totally
absolute natural.
He totally went into that role, and I didn't think he was acting. I never see his acting like other actors.
No, every time you see a man transform into somebody else. I think the closest I've seen Michael Keaton kind of quote unquote play himself, and this is going to be controversial, is Bruce Wayne as Batman. I just don't think he's that great of a Bruce Wayne. I just don't. I think he's all right. He's fine. He plays the very foundational approach to Bruce Wayne Batman. Not to say he's not a good one. I've seen better Bruce Waynes and Batmans in my opinion. That doesn't mean he doesn't play bad. He's the most Michael Keaton to me. He's very calm and down to earth, and not too serious about stuff. Like, He plays that. That's his most subdued role, in my opinion, which is funny because he dresses up as a bat and goes and beats up criminals at night. That's how I see him. But about this movie, though, I do really think it's pretty well done. I do like a lot of the camera work. Morgan Freeman's great in this. He's also a standout. I mean, he really steals the show with every line that he says. He plays Morgan Freeman. He knows exactly how to play the Morgan Freeman character. And I really love the chemistry between those two.
Yeah, he plays a badass.
Mm-hmm. It's great, and he plays it very realistically. The writing is very good in this because it really has a realistic viewpoint on things. Although I do feel like there's a love story that goes so far into it that I just kind of I lose interest in the love story, but I get it at the same time. And it's the ending is the ending itself, which is very nice. But it's very realistic at times, and I really appreciate that about it too. And the actors knew exactly what they were saying and exactly how they're putting things together. It's hard to find a film that's this down to earth, taking itself this seriously, and this doing such a good job at it too. It feels like it's not just trying to tell a story; it's trying to send a message to people, and I could see why it'd be played in rehab centers because it does really tell a great story and send a great message to people who need it too. I give it 3 stars, but I don't say that as a bad thing. It's just that if they didn't have good actors, this would have just.
I told you before. I thought it was a good. It looked like a good HBO series.
Absolutely.
HBO movie.
It's the definition of an HBO movie without the funding from HBO. So, all right. Next up, we're going to move on to Tucker, the Man in His Dream, released August 12th, 1988. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, it was written by Arnold Schulman and David Seidler. The tumultuous reputation of Preston Tucker is put to the test when he unveils a revolutionary new automobile in the hostile and competitive market of auto manufacturing just after World War II.
And this is based on a true story.
This is based on a true story. I did not know much at all about this Preston Tucker gentleman.
I actually saw his car when I went to California with you and Karen, my friend, and her family, and I went out there for business as well as pleasure back in the early 2000s, and we had gone to visit Francis Ford Coppola's winery and vineyard. And when I went upstairs, his Oscars were encased in a glass case, plus the Tucker car was up there. And I was in shock, and I ran down to get Karen to tell her, "You won't believe what's upstairs. It's all of Francis Ford Coppola's Oscars. He's won all these years, plus the Tucker car." And she's like, "I don't care." And she was sitting on a bench.
She was really tired.
Yeah. But she always got tired. And I was like, you won't ever see this again. This is your only chance to see Francis Ford Coppola's Oscars. There's a ton of them. And his Tucker car. She said, "What are you talking about, a Tucker car?" I said, "He made a movie about Tucker. He was the man that was ahead of his time with all these different safety features on his car. I saw the movie with Davey. You've got to come upstairs." She's like, "I can't. I don't feel like it." I was like, "You've got to come upstairs. You won't believe what you're going to miss out on." I was begging her. And I was practically dragging her. No, leave me alone. I got to take my nap. Anyway, it was hilarious.
So, was this your first time watching the movie?
No, I told you I saw it with Davey.
Okay.
See, Davey was up in Detroit. I worked for GM at the time. I just was in college. GM was financing all my studies, and so he was working for EDS. So he had wanted to see about vehicles, and he knew I worked for GM at one point, and knew that I had an interest. So and he loved Jeff Bridges. So we both, and he had come down to visit from Detroit. So we both wanted to go see this movie about this entrepreneur who wanted to make a difference and save people's lives, and it was ahead of his time. And we wanted to go see this movie. We went and saw this movie together. It was his idea. But after seeing it with you the other day, I remembered it wasn't that great a movie.
I will be brief because this movie isn't really worth too much of my breath. It's not that great of a movie.
It's got some real... It's got some flaws.
It's if we're gonna talk about HBO films, this is like the less than the value of an HBO movie. This is like something I'd see on like ABC.
It's got flaws. It's got major flaws, and poor Jeff Bridges really tried.
He did his damnedest. I give him so much credit for trying to make this work, and at times it does work. It does work at times, and they did a decent job bringing you to that era. It's just that I did not like Francis Ford Coppola's direction in this movie. He made so many choices that made me baffle. Like, why would you do this? It's like he's directing a kid's movie because he has sound effects and music everywhere. Not a moment of silence. And I'm thinking to myself, what is wrong with you?
I think he was trying to put you in that era.
He brought you too much into the era.
Yeah, and it was... Not,
Do you know how,
and it was too much beige. Everything was beige.
Everything looked like a sunset. It was a sunset or a sunrise at every shot, and it was extremely boring.
But that was it's that beige effect.
Mm-hmm. On top of that, I mean, it's like listening to jazz music for 2 hours.
He was trying to put you back in the 40s. There's 40s era.
After a while, it just gets a little exhausting.
It's not just exhausting. It's irritating.
Because then you have to add the people that are trying to talk.
There's only so many horns you can hear.
Yes, and then people are trying... And then like that, people are trying to talk while the music's playing, and they're trying to... And they're talking this heavy 50s accent, see? And they're trying to talk like this, see?
It's not 50s.
So you have to have... I mean, like, it's like the 50s. It's just after World War II. It's like the 48, 49...
People didn't talk like that.
But I hear them talking like this. The point is, they talk like this, and then I have to put the subtitles on because I can't hear them because the jazz music's playing, and it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. I'm honestly surprised I didn't turn it off. I think I powered through because you didn't say to stop watching it.
You know what? You're doing these old criminals. Those old
40s mobsters. I know. I know this vibe. I've written about these characters. I've directed these characters. I've acted as these characters. I know what 1940s mafia style stuff is like. I love it. I love the aesthetic, but it gets boring here. It's very...
Where's your Moses now?
Exactly. Stupid. Oh my god. I mean, and Jeff Bridges,
oh my god.
What is with this man?
And he was so happy to work with his dad, as Lloyd Bridges plays.
His dad's in 2 scenes in the whole movie.
But he's happy that his dad's in the movie.
Yes.
Okay, let's go on to a good movie.
Okay. No, but hold on. I have to know what you thought of it, too. Like you said, it's got major flaws.
I just said
You said it's got major flaws, see? What would you give it out of 5 stars?
2. And that's being very nice.
What if
very nice because I saw the car, okay? I touched that car. And it had things around it because nobody was up there but me.
And by safety features, it had... Like, this is a point where... This car was trying to be made, and it had these advanced safety features like a seatbelt. Which, that was advanced at the time. Even in the 60s, nobody wore seatbelts.
It also had fuel injection, which was a safety thing. But it also had headlights that would move when you turn.
That'd be a pretty cool idea. I can see a lot of accidents, though, from that. Because people are still going to hit each other with things and everything.
But what got me, he tried to put the engine in the back. If you hit an engine from the back, it's going to explode. That
was the cause of, like, everybody was saying, this engine in the back thing is not working. This car's not running. He's like, it's going to run. You're going to make it run. Like, man, you can't.
But there were other safety features he had.
Oh,
wipers.
Yeah, windshield wipers.
No, but he had some better wipers or something for some reason.
Yeah, I would give it a 1. I mean, I'm just gonna say it straight out. This was just a 1. I saw it once. I'll never need to ever see it again. Jeff Bridges tries. He cannot save this movie from being the nightmare that
let's
it
go
is.
To a good. Okay, let's go on to a good movie.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Detroit Rock City, released August 13th, 1999. It was directed by Adam Rifkin and written by Carl Dupree. 4 rockers fight the crowds of Detroit as they try to make it to a Kiss concert after the tickets get destroyed by one of their conservative moms. It was the actors are Edward.
She's a demon, okay? She was a demon, not just conservative. She was a demon mom. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
So the actors are Edward Furlong, Sam Huntington, Giuseppe Andrews, and James DeBello.
Edward Furlong is from The Terminator, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's him.
Yep. He is the kid from Terminator 2, and he ends up growing up a little bit, and being in Detroit Rock City and going to a male strip club. And
hey, don't cheat. Don't tell them everything.
So I've never heard of this before. This is my first time seeing this.
I love this film. I saw this with Roxy. She loved it so much she had to see it again with me. She told me, Tracy, this film you're gonna love. You're gonna love this film. This reminds me of you and Stevie. And Stevie was a guy that we used to hang out with, and how we used to go to rock concerts and stuff back in the day. I love this film, and I think Gene Simmons had something to do with it because his girlfriend, now wife, was in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't notice it before.
They had tons of music, great music in this.
Oh my gosh.
The soundtrack was great. Great soundtrack.
And what's her name's in it? That girl that now is so skinny, she looked good in this film.
Oh, Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's barely aged. Honestly, she looks great in this movie. She looks great now.
She's aged. Don't even.
I see her aged a lot less than like other people have between 1999.
Because of Doctor, you're calling Dr. Love.
Yeah.
Her doctors, okay? There's doctors with these actresses, okay?
So I really like this movie. I thought it was very well done. I think. It's stupid fun. It's kind of like Airheads to me, except I like Airheads a little bit more.
I love this movie more. Because it shows a realism about what would really happen.
Yeah, it really does a good job of taking you back into the time and showing how crazy people were about rock music and how they were against rock music. And I love the camera work. It's really dynamic, and it's very up in your face, and it's really fun. It's really great to see all this music come together. Sometimes there's so much music happening in each segment of the film, it got almost desensitizing in some parts, but it still works in most parts of the film itself, and that's me being more critical from looking at it from a filmmaker's point of view. But
I can't believe that they got approval of playing all this music and could afford it.
They must have gotten dirt cheap because the budget's only $17 million. Gene
Simmons must have negotiated
to
get these songs, and not just the Kiss songs. There's other songs.
There's I think there's Ozzy in there. There's there's so many little like great classic rock songs that we know and love. I mean, AC/DC I think's in there too.
Yes, and there's Thin Lizzy. I think there's all kinds of songs.
Tons of great music in here.
So Gene Simmons must have negotiated getting those songs on this track and this soundtrack. So it's great.
This is definitely it's a good house party movie you can put on.
Oh my gosh.
Have a good time.
It's amazing.
It really takes you back into that era, that time. It's really
the Stretch Armstrong with those kids. Oh my gosh! And that scene is one of my favorite scenes of them being robbed, and the Stretch Armstrong saves them. And oh my gosh!
It really just makes you enjoy. It's a good old fashioned good old time. And
it's supposed to be based in 1978.
Mm-hmm. And it really feels like you're taken back to that era in its own way. And some of the scenes are ridiculous, but it's a ridiculous movie. It's supposed to be that way.
Yes.
I think it really fits. I would give it.
I gave it a 4.
I give it a 3.5. I really felt that I had a good time watching it. I just don't think too highly of it. I think it's good and it's a good time overall, but I wouldn't think it's as good as Airheads in my opinion.
Well,
but
I like the way that
it was a good time.
I like the music. The music's incredible.
It's a good time. It's a good get away from it all kind of movie. Absolutely. Last but not least, we're going to be talking about Jobs. Not the Jobs, but Steve Jobs. Directed on, it was released on August 16th, 2013. It was directed by Joshua Michael Stern, written by Matt Whiteley. The founding of the famous tech brand Apple is chronicled in this biopic, focusing on the life and personality of Steve Jobs and his obstacles to make his vision of Apple computers a reality. It stars Ashton Kutcher, Josh Gad, J.K. Simmons, and several other smaller-time actors who really got a good start from this film as well. And they did a good job of casting all these people because they look so much like their counterparts from that they're actually
it's a
adapting
biography.
from. So this movie we saw in theaters.
We did see in theaters. I am a big fan of Ashton Kutcher, and I've been a big fan of his since I first laid eyes on him. Roxy called me and said, "You've got to see that '70s show. There's the most gorgeous guy that you will love named Michael. You will love him."
Well, his name is Michael, but everybody calls him Kelso.
I know.
You know, which is fun. I'm just thinking it's funny that she calls him Michael, like because the whole show they call him Kelso.
But his first name's Michael.
I know.
And Jackie calls him Michael.
Yeah.
Jackie calls him Michael.
I kind of forgot that.
And she goes, and Roxy says, "His name is Michael, and you will love him." And I said, "Oh my gosh!" And so I had to, and then I had to go look him up, and oh my God, I did love him.
It's great.
And I wore my Ashton Kutcher purse to this movie, and I still have that. Remember it says Mrs.
No, I don't. I don't remember.
It says Mrs. Kutcher. Roxy gave me that purse. Still have it. It's pink, and it says Mrs. Kutcher on it.
So we saw this movie in theaters, and I don't remember. I remember you just wanted to see it because of my Ashton Kutcher, and I was starting around this time. I was starting to really look at movies from a more critical point of view.
But it had a lot of promotion about how great he was going to be in this film, and I also wanted to see it because it's about Steve Jobs, of course. But it had a lot of hype that he was going to be great in it.
Right, but what I was saying was that I really wasn't into biopics until around this point in time. And I really like biopics nowadays because of this is one of the first biopics that I saw that I really got to look at and see and really just appreciate. So, I mean, that's why I wanted to really point out is that this is one of the first biopics, if not probably the first biopic that I really saw and was glued to my seat from beginning to end. This is what really made me appreciate biopics in the future and up till now.
Oh, really? Well, not me, but anyway, when I first saw this film, I was glued onto Ashton Kutcher and studied how great he was in this role. When I saw it the second time, I was disgusted by how mean Steve Jobs. What a selfish, narcissistic man. Even though I saw the film the first time and I knew he was, I overlooked it. Because I was like, oh, Ashton's doing such a great job. He's so good in this. I was just like, it's like being high, you know? It's like, ah.
He's got that effect on people. He does.
I was like, ah. This time, I wasn't, I was studying it critically. And I was mad. I was mad at Steve Jobs.
That's just how good his acting was.
Yes.
Because it really is transformative. You really do see, you don't see Ashton Kutcher. You see a who's just trying to figure himself out. And he ends up
anyone or anything that's going to get in his way, he doesn't care because they're in their way. They're in his way, and he doesn't care, and he's going to smash them. He's going to get rid of them.
It's really admirable, but at the same time,
it's not.
He also goes over the line on things.
It's not admirable. It's horrible.
Well, listen. Without him, Apple wouldn't have come to be a thing, and he was able to get his best friend, who hated his job at Intel, Steve Wozniak, into something that he was more passionate about. Like, he did a lot of good, but at the cost of turning into, like it said in the movie, he's his own worst enemy. And he really is his own worst enemy.
What did I tell you during the film?
What did you tell me during the film?
I said, karma, what he's doing is causing karma. Mm-hmm. What happened to Steve Jobs?
Okay, let's talk about the movie, though. Let's talk about because we could talk about Steve Jobs, but let's really talk about the movie.
I'm telling you, the film was fantastic. I don't know if the film, I've never researched it if it's accurate. I've never read his book. I've never read exactly if it's accurate.
So in terms of events, it's accurate to what transpired. There are some people that say, oh, he's too much of a jerk. That's not true about him and his daughter. Like, little things, little semantic things about he didn't act like this, he didn't act like that. But in terms of the actual events, like why he got cut from Apple, why, like, how, the computer parts situation where they delivered parts, not the whole computer, where he pitched the idea at this place, like, that stuff, the actual events, that all happened.
Well, I know this. Ashton Kutcher is very exact about certain things, and unless he's pretty.
He's transformative, and the way, like,
But no. What I'm saying is he won't do something unless it's pretty accurate. He's just that way.
Okay.
And I don't think he would have been part of this project unless especially if it's about Steve Jobs. And he's a big techie.
Well, I know Wozniak was wishy-washy about how accurate the movie was, because he said there are some things that aren't true, and there's some things that are true, absolutely. But, overall, I really enjoyed it, and, I'm glad to see, some proper representation about some things, and he was trying to be very respectful of Steve and everything around that time. And it still is, of course, too, about that as well. But, but we're talking about it as a film. Does a film really, hold up to you from what it did 12 years ago? That's how good this biopic is, because
I think it was even better.
We focus so much on the realistic aspects of it, the real life aspects of it, that we forget what we're talking about in the movie.
I think it was even better. Because I was more critical of it this time. Last time I was in La La Land over Ashton Kutcher. Mm-hmm. This time I was more critical, so it was even better.
My opinion hasn't changed on this movie. It is the exact same movie that I saw 12 years ago.
Well, I'm just telling you the truth.
I know. I'm just telling you my.
I think it was even better because I was in La La Land overlooking at Ashton Kutcher, he's finally got a decent role where he's going to show his acting chops. Mm-hmm. Okay? He's finally going to really prove that he's a great actor. But I already knew he was. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think it was fair that they just thought he was some dumb guy. In
its own way, though, it's still, like, it did well. It had a $12 million budget, which is pretty small for 2013. And it did $42 million in the box office. So it did pretty well at that time, but people don't talk about this movie at all. And it surprises me because this is one of the better biopics that I've seen that's both accurate and entertaining at the same time. This is a movie about computers, and they make it extremely entertaining. And it makes you... It reminds me of The Social Network, where it's like, you got to know what happens next. Where does it go from here? When it comes to something so basic and boring as computers, it makes it interesting.
The only thing I wish that they had done more of is the relationship between him and Bill Gates.
I agree. I would have liked to see more of that.
They did not touch. They didn't want to touch upon that. They wanted it to be just about Steve Jobs.
Because it was very hostile at first, and then as they started turning gray, they started to get along a little bit better. As they got into their old age, they started to reluctantly respect each other, and then Steve died.
It was really wicked.
It sure was.
It was really wicked.
Would have been a great action, but I see why they didn't focus on that, because it really would have taken so much away from the story they were trying to tell. So I get it. There's so much that they could tell of Steve Jobs' life and Apple and everything. That's the worst thing I can say about the movie, is that I wanted to see more. That's the absolute worst thing I can say about it. I would give this movie 4.5 stars. It tells a great story from beginning, middle, and end. It talks about not just one man, but his relationship and other people around him as well. Even the smaller roles, like Josh Gad playing Steve Wozniak, is fantastic in it. Everybody who's on who's part of his friends who end up leaving him, they all do such a great job. I don't think there's anything in the music. I love the soundtrack. I'm still thinking about that first song that shows up in the film when you first get introduced to him in the 70s. He's walking through the campus barefoot and everything, and that song that's in my head, it's still in my head, because they do such a good job of introducing you to that world of, like, the late 70s, and where it really just takes you in there. And it's something that gives me chills when I watch it, because it's beautiful. It's a great example of what good cinema can do to somebody, to an audience member. And it's something that I truly appreciate, and I wish more biopics got to help you get into that era again.
And they showed him being barefoot.
Mm-hmm. They really showed you every angle of Steve, even if it's a fictional, quote unquote, fictional version of him. This is, I think, the closest we'll ever get to a look at Steve Jobs from the past, because he's not going to be able to tell us that anymore. And I don't think even him telling his own version of who Steve was like was back then was the truth. So I really liked this movie. I think Ashton does a fantastic job playing Jobs and makes it extremely entertaining.
I think what was really that I didn't realize in the first time I viewed it was how important fonts were. That was important to Steve Jobs about how fonts were important.
And it wasn't, even more about the fonts was he wanted to make sure people had the freedom to choose, and the idea, because he knew how important these little things can be. Little things add up, and freedom adds up.
It started from when he met that girl that loved calligraphy.
Mm-hmm. And that was really smart.
That was really smart.
It shows that he may have looked like a bum, but he was a genius. You can't judge a book by its cover.
He studied calligraphy because he realized that was an art.
Like he wasn't a one-man show. He didn't come up with everything, but he was able to bring all these great things separate and bring them together.
But he knew that you could take calligraphy, put it into a computer.
Mm-hmm. He brought the people that could bring things together and lead it the way they needed to be led. And he didn't create the board that would lead to the first Apple computer, but he was able to get Woz to get on board with it and really push it. He was able to get that engineer to create the fan that could keep the system cool, even though it was considered impossible. Like, he got these people together to create something great, and that's why he's a visionary.
And supervised it.
He saw it ahead of the game.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. They really showed that
and negotiated it and got it done.
Absolutely.
And got her done.
So, I love this movie. I think it's great. And we have some good movies to talk about this week. Mm-hmm. Some not so good, but some really good ones too. Thank you all so much for listening.
And that's the fun of movies.
Absolutely.
And the surprises of life.
Thank you all so much for listening. We look forward to hearing from you and talking about what's going to be happening next on our lists. So thank you again. You have a great night and be safe.
Enjoy your movies.